All right, gang, let's dive right into it. Welcome to the first edition of Webinar Wednesday 2021. It's great to be with everyone here today. If this is your first time joining, welcome. I am Jason there on the left, and as always, we're lucky to be joined by David Rockland, the digital strategist here at Brilliant Directories. Dave, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Absolutely. Happy New Year, everybody. Great to be back with you for some more Webinar Wednesdays, number 106 here. I've got some really great updates that we'll be going through for you today and looking forward to it.
And Dave, I know everyone here is on the webinar, but also started streaming on YouTube simultaneously, correct?
Yes, so the only drawback with YouTube is if you do have a question that you'd like to ask, you'll have to type it into the YouTube chat, and we'll be monitoring both the YouTube chat and this GoToWebinar chat. But if you were hoping to get your microphone unmuted to speak with us, ask us a question, that will still need to be done through GoToWebinar. But if you're away from the computer, if you're on the run, YouTube will probably be an easier way to catch these webinars live.
And that is why David is the digital strategist here at Brilliant Directories. I always like to mention, if you're not already part of our Facebook group, it's a really great way to keep in touch in between Webinar Wednesdays. You can head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. Just click on the blue join button. All are welcome. I myself am very active in there, and I'm really amazed to see the participation and how everyone is helping each other with their websites, from very simple how-to questions to more complex marketing questions and strategy questions to grow your online community. So if you're not already a member, I do hope to see you there. And it is a new year, so I do want to welcome everyone who's joining us for the first time and just give you a quick little 20-second background of Webinar Wednesdays. You know, we really like to use this time to show you how to leverage some of the newer features built into the platform, more specifically to help you grow your online community on day-to-day and week-to-week basis. The team is always pushing updates, but we like to find the noteworthy updates and mention those here to give you better control of your online community, and again, to help you expedite and grow that community a bit quicker. Some of the topics we cover and you can ask questions on, or any questions about your website, how to increase traffic. A lot of the times these features are geared towards converting visitors into subscribers or paying members. And one of my favorites is talking about improving your website's navigation. A lot of that goes into the design and flow of your site. And those are a lot of the updates that we push to give you a better grasp and control of that user experience. So if you have questions on these types of topics or anything related to your online community, save them. We'll try to get to as many questions as possible here. All right, and actually since the turn of the new year, we did have quite a few lab updates, but I just wanted to share a few of them here that will probably be the most beneficial for some of you. One here at the top of the list is more related to your website's SEO and the ability now, which has been highly requested in the Facebook group because of your feedback. You do have the ability, if you wanted to manually override and customize the URLs of your blog posts, events, etc., etc. Right now, when you create a blog post, we'll use that as an example, on your site, the URL, the link that it goes to is connected to the title of the article. That's generally best practices. But there are cases where you, the website owner, may sometimes want to edit the post URL. Maybe you want to remove the ands or that might be in the title and just stick to some of the keywords, or you might want to add more specific keywords without making the public title looking too long. So let me show you guys where you can do that real quick. And again, you may not need to do this on all your articles, but it can come in handy when you are looking to do it on some of your articles. So where you can go is you can go to content, and you want to go to your manage posts. And so here are all your posts. Here's one. It's a test article. Let's actually go to the live page. So we see the link here is articles, test article that was created based on the title, but maybe I want to change that as the website owner. I want to enhance it a bit. Where you can go for that for any of your post types, events, jobs, coupons, etc. Under the actions dropdown, you can now click on the customize URL option. And by default, it's going to ask you, do you just want to use the default post URL, which is the one connected directly to the title? We can see it here. Or you can create a custom post URL. So, you can do extra keywords. And what the system's going to do is it's going to validate the URL, meaning it's going to check your site to make sure you don't have any other posts or web pages or anything else with that URL, that reserved URL, because you don't want any conflicts between several pages that have the same URL. So this one is available on the site. I'll go ahead and save the changes. And I think that should, if I just go to live page now, we can see now the link for this test article is now test article. And again, just in my example here, I put extra keywords. So everyone can do that now under your manage posts section here. This one is more about aesthetics. I like this because it can help you draw more attention to some elements on your homepage. On the homepage, you do have something, and most people use this because we do include it as one of the streaming widgets by default when you launch a site, are these two boxes here, these two modules. We call this the About and Join Offer modules. However, people have used them for many other areas to put blurbs of content on their homepage. Up until now, you have not been able to change the background color of these. It would match whatever the module background color is that you've set in your design settings. For most of us, it's gray, depending on if you've done any color choice changes on your site. Let me show you where you can edit this. I'm sure all of us have modified this text on our site to match the market or industry that you're going after. And I do like the color changes because, again, in this example, I've made it like a light red, light pink color, and marrying that with some images or videos that you want to put in here, it can again, just draw more attention to this section. So for this, we're going to go to Settings and Design Settings. Great, and from here we can go to Design for the Homepage tab, and then the first thing you want to do is, this is going to be under Homepage Section Order. We'll want to have one of the sections be the About website / Join Offer. So I've added it here in Section 5. That's the last section on the page. And when you select that, you can then click on Edit Settings. And of course, effectively, you have two modules, a left and a right module, and you can put whatever you need or want here. It doesn't have to be about our website and why you can join. It could be a testimonial. It could be, whatever you want to put there. It could just be an image or just a video. But now you'll see for the left one, you have element background color, element border color. You obviously have your main title, the title color. And what's really great about this and makes these sections super flexible is you can put anything you want in the text editors here. So you can insert images, videos, you can increase the font sizes and things like that. So that is available for you now. Again, it's the About website and Join Offer, and that's going to be the element background and element border colors that you can select. All right, this next one, a lot of us write blog posts. Sometimes you write them in Microsoft Word and then you copy and paste them into when you're creating your blog post or an event post or job listing. And a lot of times when you paste from like Microsoft Word or Google Docs or anywhere else, any other place you might be copying and pasting the content into your blog article, it could include some styling settings that kind of don't register well on the front end of your website. This could add to increased widths, font families that you're not using on your site because when you're copying and pasting it, it's telling it to use a certain font family. So this will actually, if you're doing this a lot, pasting from other sources, this can actually help you start with a clean slate. And I can show you an example of what this does and what the difference is when this advanced setting is enabled and when it's not enabled. So what I've done is I have a Google Doc here, and I actually have, let's make this really large, just some font that's like extra large, it's red, some medium-sized font, and let's paste this into a blog article. So let's go into the admin area here. I'll actually log in as a member who has the ability to post articles. I'll do this John Smith example. Let's go to create a new article. Okay, so new community article. and publish it, yes, and we'll do pasting example as the title. So let's copy this into here. And we can see all the styling is, as much as it can, is being preserved here. And I'll go ahead and save the changes. Now, sometimes you want this, maybe where you're copying from doesn't cause any conflicts on the front end of your site, and copying and pasting is not an issue. So we can see here I've pasted from Google Docs, and it's keeping the formatting. So if you want to turn this off, if you just want the plain text to be copied, so you don't have to go back and manually change all the font sizes and colors from white to black or red or whatever it might be. Let me show you the advanced setting, and this will work site-wide for you for any time you're pasting stuff into your text editor. So for this, you want to go to your settings and advanced settings, and all you really have to do is in the keyword search, just quickly search for plain. The name is called Froella Plain Paste, so you can search for that whole thing. And we want to turn this on. And plain paste means it's just going to plainly paste the text without any additional rich styling rules connected to the fonts. Okay, so that's enabled now. So let's copy this same thing one more time, and let's do another article. Let's go back. And we'll do a new community article, and I'll just paste it here as an example. So we can see it's really just pasted the text, the font here, the text here without any of the additional styling. And from here, I can then go ahead and do my own bold and colors and things like that. So again, if you're doing a lot of copying and pasting, the name of the setting is Froella Plain Paste, and you want to turn that on if you just want the text pasted into the editor when you're creating your posts. All right, the next one, just an announcement. We're going to talk about this a bit more in the webinar, but the Tax and VAT Manager add-on has been released. We did a quick preview in the previous webinar, but it's now officially released, and we just want to do a quick review of the settings in the next few slides. Further on this list, you now have the ability to choose, when using the global website search add-on, which post types will display in the global website search results. So if you don't know, the global website search allows you to have one keyword input, and you can search all the post types on your site. So it'll search your members, your blogs, your events, your jobs, your coupons, your property listings, your classifieds. If you've cloned the classifieds or another post type, you can search for all that using the global website search. But the feedback that we received is sometimes you don't want all the post types to be part of the global website search. Let's say you're a classified site and you've cloned your classifieds post type for each one to support a different classifieds category. So let's say you have 5 classified category post types, but you also have a website blog. Perhaps you don't want the global website search to include just that website blog. You want it to be just dedicated for all the classified post types that you've created. Let me show you where you can now enable and disable this if you want post types excluded from the search results of the global website search. So for this, we're going to go to Content and Edit Post Settings. It is tied to each different post type that you have. And oh yeah, and even in this site we did like jewelry classifieds, car classifieds. But let's say we want to omit just the blog articles. We use that as an example. So search for the post type, click on Edit, and under the Additional Settings, right there in the first tab of General Settings for the post type, click on Additional Settings. And I think it's the last one here, enable results for global website search. Now, by default, it's set to yes, because that's how it worked prior to this available setting. But if you want to exclude this post type from the global website search, simply set this to no. And it won't be included in the global website search. However, you can search for it if you're using its own dedicated search module. In this case, would be the search module just for blog articles. So enable results for global website search. It is in the first tab when editing a post type. Just toggle open the additional settings options here. And right now it is the last one, enable results for global website search. You can set that to yes or no. All right, and last one here. I think actually this one is super high value. We do have the member private chat tool, which rather than just sending the members those leads from their contact form, it actually allows logged in members to have a back and forth continuous dialogue with each other. Up until now, you wouldn't be able to start the chat when you're on their profile page. You'd have to go to like a separate page. I'll show you an example of that. But now there is a sidebar module which will do the same thing, and it should actually increase engagement between your logged in members. So it's kind of pretty exciting. Let me show you what that looks like here. So let's go to this guy's profile. Or actually, let's do a quick search. And we'll just do Elite Golf Academy. Okay, so this is what the sidebar the new sidebar module, you can add it if you want, is here. Prior to this, you would have to click on this send message button, and then you would be able to initiate a chat. So you'd have to come to this page, which there's nothing wrong with that. You click, you want to chat or contact now, and it brings you to this chat page. However, now that it's right here in the sidebar, you can update the call to action here, and you can just start chatting with him. So I'm logged in as John Smith. So you just have to be logged in with a registered account for members to chat between each other. So I'll just say, hi there, how's it going? If your site is service-based or people are looking for quotes or wanting to book appointments, having it right here in the sidebar, tell me about your project and I'll give you a quote. Again, just depends on what you want this here. You could take it even further. Now I'm just thinking of a small customization that might be awesome, is letting the member choose what they want this message to be. Maybe you limit it to 100 characters. They can choose how they want to welcome people to their profile page to initiate this chat. These are text labels, so I'm assuming if you created a variable where a form variable when they're editing their member profile, welcome message to profile viewers or whatever, and then use that here. That can even taking it a step further to elicit even more engagement. So let's just send this message here. Okay, and now that I've sent that message, it takes me to my dashboard where I can continue chatting with Elite Golf Academy. Are you there? And of course, Elite Golf Academy is getting email messages that someone is trying to connect with them. And of course, I can always go back to the Elite Golf Academy's profile here. So this one's actually super cool. I want to share the link to that add-on if you don't have it. That is the private member chat, and let me tell you how you enable that in the sidebar. Super important too. Okay, so let's say you have private chat turned on your website and for those members. So let's say right now when they click on this send message button or whatever you chose for that button to say, they're currently being directed here. If you want the sidebar module, the name of the module is Bootstrap Theme Module Member Private Chat. So what we need to do is we just need to drop that widget into the sidebar of the member profile pages. So let's do that together. And I have actually done it, but let me show you where you go. So to enable this, go to Toolbox, Sidebar Manager. Okay, great. And we want this on the member profile page. Let's click on Edit. So you can see here, these are the widgets that are loading in the member profile page sidebar. I have it here at the top, private member chat. If you have the add-on and want it there as well, you could search for the word private here. It's the only widget with that name, and just drag it here. Obviously, we don't want to, but you just drag it there, search for private, and you can insert it there. Again, I think it'll elicit a lot more engagement between your logged in members. Now, before we go to the tip of the week, I know I just went through a lot. I'm going to lower everyone's hands. If you have any questions about these lab updates, maybe we could take a question or two or any feedback you have about them.
We did have several people type in and ask if website visitors could start chats with your website's members or if they needed to be logged into an account in order to do that.
Great question. So you do need to know who's contacting the member. Otherwise, you could just use the lead form, the one where you put your name and your email, phone number, and then you send the message. So to initiate a chat, you would need to register. But what's really cool is, since we launched the Express member registration setting that's available to everyone, it's going to prompt you to log in if you're not already logged in. You can register a new account right on the same page. So you do need to be logged in, or you need to register at least a free account, and then you can initiate chats with members. However, what I've seen is this. Let me go to John Smith's profile again. You can have both. You can have the chat, and actually this shouldn't be showing like this. Just should be showing with the options to toggle login. But you can have both the chat that will prompt you to log in if you're not logged in, with the option to create an account, or you can have what we're all used to is sending the message here directly. You don't have to have an account for that. You're just filling out the form with your email and phone number and writing a message that gets shot out to the member, and then the member can follow up with you accordingly. Good question.
Great. And then also, when a live chat is started with a member, that member does receive an email notification in case they're not online at that moment, right?
Yeah, the member does receive an email notification that a new chat is waiting for them, and it includes a link to click on where they'll be directed immediately to that private chat instance, so they can start chatting with them right away. So if they happen to already be logged into the website and they get that email, they could just click the link and start chatting back and forth continuously.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Moving on, we have a new add-on release, and again, we've seen it's more so valuable it's valuable for everyone, but we've seen a higher demand for this for our users outside of the United States. You can now set tax and VAT rules that will be charged during any payment attempt on the website, whether it's a new sign-up for a paid account, whether it's purchasing leads, digital products, pay per post. You can set localized rules based on the country, and then also a state or province. And if the billing address matches the tax rules for that country and state or province, the tax will be applied. David, you put together a few slides here that I think will do a good overview of this new add-on. And I know in some countries you're obligated to show on the invoice exactly what the VAT amount is. So this will definitely help those users as well.
Yeah, so just going into the basic details of what this add-on does. Like you mentioned, it's at the core, it's location-based tax and VAT rules for your checkout pages and also for your invoices. So by default, it won't come with any kind of preset tax or value-added tax rules. You can manually add those in based on whatever regulations you might need to comply with, where your members are located, like you mentioned. If you're outside of the US, specifically maybe like in Europe, where value-added taxes are more popular, then you can add in the specific rules for what may apply to you. So with this add-on, you can create as many tax rules as you'd like, and these tax rules will be applied to all of the payments processed on your website. And these tax rules, they can also then be created to apply to all of your customers regardless of their location, or you can create tax rules specific to the customer's location. So once they put in their billing details, the system gets their location. If you have any tax rules for that specific location, those tax rules will then dynamically be applied to the checkout page so that they can see those separate taxes applied to their total checkout price. And then if you were to send them PDF invoice later on of the transaction, they'll then see those separate line items for your taxes that have been applied. So not every website will need the Tax and VAT Manager add-on. Like we mentioned, it's really useful for specific locations. Other locations, it won't really be necessary. So some instances where this may be valuable to you is if your government requires you to collect sales or value-added taxes, or at least specify them separately on invoices, or if you want to have those separate line items on your checkout pages and also your invoices for taxes. And then another instance may be if you want to charge for taxes or additional fees on top of the membership plan price that you're charging your customers or your members. So you could look at this not solely in terms of charging people for taxes, but because you can create these custom rules, it could be for taxes, it could be for value-added taxes, it could be for additional fees that you might want to tack on to the checkout pages. You can really get pretty creative with how you create and apply these rules.
Awesome. It is very straightforward. So what we'll do is we'll just create a few rules and see how the taxes are listed and defined on a checkout page. So if you have the VIP Add-ons Club, you already have this in your arsenal in your admin area. But let me show you exactly where, let's start from the dashboard, where you can edit this. Let's start from the admin dashboard here. Where you want to find your tax and VAT settings, it's going to be under the finance section, payment settings area. And what you'll have here, obviously your connected gateway will be here, and you'll have this drop-down toggle here, additional settings, and you can begin to create location-based tax rules, tax and VAT rules with this link here, tax VAT settings. I'll go ahead and click that link right now. And actually, let's go to a checkout page together first. Let's look at one of our membership plans. Here we go, sample premium plan. This is a monthly price of $9. Let's change this just so we can see the math on this very simply. Let's set it to $10 per month. And we'll use this as the example. We'll go to the sign up page. And also in this example, let's pretend that I'm located in Canada, in British Columbia. So we can see here the order summary shows $10. And if I came to the billing information section and I chose Canada and British Columbia, I don't have any tax rules set yet. So we could see nothing has changed in the order summary. It's just a flat $10. Let's go ahead and create a tax rule for billing addresses that are in Canada within British Columbia. So back to the tax VAT rules page, I'll click on new tax rule. And tax name, this is what will show on the checkout page as the line item. I don't know if they use VAT or tax in Canada. I think it's VAT. I'll just use that, I'm not sure. And we'll choose Canada, and then the region, the provinces will open up here, British Columbia, and let's say it's a 10% tax rate. And actually you can have two service charges or tax charges applied based on a location. So the tax rule order, you can have a primary and secondary. So maybe one is the tax or VAT, and one is a service charge from your website, whatever that might be for. So let's just choose primary and 10%, and we'll save the changes. Great. I did forget one more thing. Up here next to new tax rules, you want to make sure you have exclusive or inclusive selected if you want to enable taxes. Exclusive means the tax price will be charged on top of and in addition to whatever the current listed price is. So we have $10. I want to charge a 10% tax. My total, if I chose exclusive, would be $11. Inclusive means that the final price for the customer is going to be what they see, and we're going to refactor what those taxes are, so the final number in this example wouldn't be more than $10. Let's look at it with both instances. So let's start with exclusive, and this will automatically save. And basically we're enabling taxes on the site now. Great. And let's refresh the page. Okay, let's choose the monthly of $10. And we'll choose Canada again and British Columbia. So now we can see the subtotal is $10, and there's a VAT of 10%, which equates to $1. So our total today will be $11, and moving forward as well. Let's add a secondary charge to this, another tax rule. So we'll create a new tax rule. And we'll call this, what's cool is you can choose what it says on the front end. So if it's a service charge, we'll just call it service charge. And again, we'll do Canada and British Columbia. And let's say there's a 2.5% service charge, and this will be the secondary rule. All right, so now we have two taxes that are applied to British Columbia. One is a VAT, and another one we're calling it a service charge or automatic donation or whatever you want to get creative with. And we'll refresh this page again. Okay, and we'll choose the monthly price. Canada, British Columbia, and if I just click away, so now we see, and it really looks kind of professional here with the taxes included. So we have a subtotal of $10 for the monthly charge. There's a VAT of 10%, which equates to $1. Service charge of 2.5% equates to 25 cents, and a total of $11.25 for this ongoing monthly subscription. So that's with the exclusive tax. And what really it makes this valuable is sometimes you want the total to just be that number that you advertise. So maybe $95 or, those round numbers that we like so much to be the final price. So what really the magic is with this add-on is you can choose this option that's inclusive, and it's going to hold that $10 as the final price. Basically, taxes are included in the listed price. So let's refresh this one more time. All right, we'll choose that $10 monthly price. And again, we'll go Canada and British Columbia. Awesome. So we can see here that the subtotal is $8.89, so that's like the retail cost of the item, and then it's automatically kind of reverse engineered what the taxes and the service charges should be, so that the customer isn't billed more than kind of what the advertised price was. In this case, $10. So it's really cool that you can choose both exclusive or inclusive. The subtotal will kind of subtract itself to make way for the taxes and the service charges, so that the final total that the customer or member is billed will be that flat number that you advertised or is listed on your site. So it just depends how you want to do it. And then you can continue making as many tax rules as needed for your site and for your business, depending on who needs to be taxed and who doesn't need to be taxed. So that's available to you guys now. And actually, let me share a link to that add-on for those who don't have it but may want it. It is available on our site, and I'll pop it in the chat here so you guys can read a bit more about it there.
We have a couple Canadians in our audience, and since we were using British Columbia in the example here, they were actually mentioning that in Canada, they have both a provincial sales tax as well as a federal tax. So having that primary and secondary options would be perfect for them in an example like this.
Perfect. Again, it's customer's choice how you want to use it. In that case, it seems like those seem compulsory. So that's good. That is there. One thing we are working on, it's not yet released, is some reporting for this that you can export. So the development team is finding the best way. The taxes are listed as line items on PDF invoices that your customers would receive or that you would see in the backend area when looking at the order. But right now, if you're going to look at it in Stripe or whatever your gateway is, it just shows the final total number without the sales tax separated out. So in a phase 2, we are working on providing those additional line items at the gateway level when you're at your gateway, or some ways to export them from your admin area so that you can reconcile your accounting on your end. So we're looking forward to that. But as far as being able to include the taxes, it's fully functional, and it works not only on member signups and upgrades, but also if members are making purchases through the site, if they're purchasing their leads, they're using the pay per post add-on to pay for a post that they want to publish. And then the other one right now would be if they're purchasing a digital product through your site, the taxes would automatically be added to the order, again, based on their billing address location, and if there's a corresponding tax rule that you've created for that location. Let's see if we have any hands up. What we can do is we'll just go to the Q&A here, time to help you with your site. If you have questions on anything we've already covered, or if you want to chat about your website, we can take a few questions here. We have our good friend Deborah here. How are you today?
Perfect, not bad. So I am the Canadian member that had paid for customization, so I am glad that this is finally ready, and so I will be going in and updating mine. The only issue I have is that in Canada here, I mean, we have a number, every province is slightly different. We're between, like our HST with the harmonized provinces is anywhere from 12 to 15. We do have some provinces that we need to bill GST, but not PST. Like in Manitoba, memberships are not taxable, but they are taxable on the federal side. So the two, primary and secondary, are perfect. The only thing we need with Canada is that it's mandatory for us to have a field that shows our registration number if we're registered. That's even on cashier slips if you're in a store. And I know you guys had added that to my invoices. So I'm wondering if you can just put a free text field in there somewhere for us to put that. I think it's like a 16 or 19 character number. So I was thinking, well, maybe we could go GST in the number, but it would wrap around 3-4 times in the tally. So that wouldn't work.
Can we check out your website and see kind of where you're looking to place this?
Yeah, it's herbizdirectory.com.
Okay. Let's go to a checkout page together. We'll just go to one of your membership plans. And here we go. Okay, great. So
so in Alberta, we only charge federal, which is just the 5% GST.
Okay. So now you need anywhere on this page to show this registration
Not on this.
number?
No, it's not on this page. It has to be on the final invoice. And you guys, I think you've got it. Let me just.
Actually, Matt, our co-founder here, he's mentioning that you could utilize the billing pay to advanced setting to add this information onto the invoice.
Where is that? Okay.
Let's go to there together. All right.
Yeah, it can be anywhere. Like the government just says it has to be on our invoices and our sales slips.
Here.
Right there.
Billing pay to. Okay. Okay. So here it is. Billing pay to. So this is your public company number or whatever for doing business in Canada?
Well, no, that is I am registered where I have to collect and remit my taxes yearly. Some people are quarterly. Not everybody needs this because you don't have to register until you hit 30,000 in a quarter. And then from that point, once you've hit it, you must register with the government. And it's just a requirement that we have to have that. So I'm glad that's still there. So I won't have to worry about redoing that.
Right, you don't have to worry about that. And David, this would be great to maybe include in the documentation that we have that this is available. Enter the address and payment information that will appear in the pay to your invoice. So this is probably valuable for everyone that uses invoices on their site. But it looks like things are on the right track there, and you have some options. I didn't know about this setting. Seems helpful, the billing pay to put on your invoices. So we'll definitely make that setting a bit easier to find and clear that you can add that to your invoices that your customers will receive. So thank you for that. All right, let's get to our good friend Eric here. How are you, Eric?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good. Happy New Year, buddy.
Yeah, you too. You guys been doing a lot to the whole system. So thanks a lot for the different updates.
Cool.
You guys have been doing a lot of updates with the forms, I know, and it's been, I know, a work in progress to let us have a little bit more control over customizing the forms as well as having, the follow-up emails go out to whoever we want to. I was trying to capture where users were entering their email address for our newsletter. So like, for example, we want to know if they enter their email address for the newsletter on this specific landing page. If they do that, I would like to be able to apply a contact tag so that, that email gets dumped into, or we can separate it, right, for a newsletter, for example.
Gotcha. Okay. No, you bring up a good point. So since the introduction when we launched the smart lists, but that's specifically for members of your site, what we're looking to do is reimagine contacts, like just the people who fill out your contact us form or subscribe to your newsletter. And we're trying to figure out how we want to reimagine that to use some of the logic that we created with smart lists that will give you the flexibility to have a contact, know what forms they've completed on your site, similar to now you can do that with members, but also still maintaining the ability to assign contact tags to those people. We don't yet know exactly what direction we're going to go with that. We haven't changed anything yet with regard to that, but we are exploring ways to reimagine that, ultimately to give you more flexibility and control over segmenting your lists and who your contacts are. So you could deliver more calculated, email newsletters to the right people and exporting certain types of lists of people. So stay tuned for that, Eric. We will have more updates on that. And it is something that we will be addressing this year in 2021. So thank you for asking that. Looks like we're just about at that time, so we'll leave it there. I want to thank you, David, for putting this presentation together for the Tax and VAT Manager add-on. We had a great handful of updates to share with you today. And I always like to mention, if you haven't already done so, feel free to join us in our Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. And important to note, generally the webinars are 2 weeks apart from each other. But because we delayed a couple weeks this January, we are also doing a webinar next Wednesday, 7 days from now. And thereafter, we will be doing the webinars every 2 weeks. So there is another webinar next week. I'm excited for that. If we didn't get to your question, again, please join us in the Facebook group. And on behalf of myself, David, and the entire Brilliant Directories family, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been awesome. Happy New Year. And we look forward to seeing you in the next webinar. Have a great day and a brilliant week. Take care, guys.